We'll work on that later. My last post indicates that it's been 3 months, and there's a method to the madness, if you will. First, it's because of the kind of information that is passing through. It's like there's a blanket and very little. It's like being in one of those organizations where bureaucracy suddenly gets doubled up, and you suddenly cannot get the information that you need because it has to go through so many people. This is actually something that happens in spiritual situations. It's one of the reasons that I choose my churches very carefully, because there are some places that you may join, and instead of increasing your connection, you're adding a layer of bureaucracy, and your messages will get diverted. Remember that God is the God of spirits. He's the Father of all spirits, and that's not even accurate. He's the source of everything. That means even the piece of stone that you're stepping on, the sand, the soil, it all came from the source. This is how important it is to recognize the position that God has over all men, over all spirits. So it also means that if you join yourself to an authority that is not willing to be to do its part, which means becoming that conduit. First of all, every authority that you join, you add it to the authority that because of who he is, God will recognize it. And this reminds me of something that I just got reminded of, that every human being is on assignment on this earth. There's no extra or anybody that is not on a very specific assignment. And this is because of the divisibility of the power of God, the divisibility of the graces of God, that one grace yields or gives forth another. One power attracts or is in opposition to another. So that means that all aspects of His grace, including the aspects that are in opposition to the good graces, will manifest eventually. And this is the same thing that you'll find in the spirits of men. They're men manifesting all aspects of the power of God. Men should not look at themselves as separate from the angels, because you're not. You all came from that continued division that started in the beginning. When it was written, there was nothing. And He said, I am. And poof, everything started manifesting, including everything that is still or so-called inanimate. There's nothing that is inexistent, even the air itself, because air is a thing, power is a thing, and there was a time when all of it was hidden in a thing that is nothing, and that nothingness revealed its power in what we're seeing right now, as creation, as heavens, as earth, as good as evil. All that is a manifestation of one, and to one we shall remain. That's why God is not sitting somewhere crying that the world is about to for those who believe in apocalypse. I can assure you that God is not losing sleep, because it's a cycle that eventually, after revealing who He is, in our separate and in the separate vessels of the angels and the heavens and the earth. They will all, after he's done manifesting himself, they will all be reunited to him. And that unity we may interpret it in various ways. So without sounding too philosophical, it's important to recognize the times that we live in, that they're not usual times. A lot is happening. If you look at, first of all, I'd say that it started a few years ago, but with the pandemic, we just went up a notch. And it's important to pay attention to the vessels that God has given power, any sort of power over his people. Remember, I told you that God is a God of spirits. Irregardless or regardless of what spirit, he rules over all. So pay attention what your leaders are doing, pay attention what your leaders are planning, and pay attention to the or what I'd call warnings that are covered up in science. For example, right now we've been told that we're on the verge of a climate catastrophe. Instead of kicking against the stones, find out more about past climate catastrophes. Remember, we are a mass of 7 billion people. The crowds cannot be talked to carelessly, no matter how good your intentions are. So there's a way that the powers have to figure out to pass a message of something that is coming. So don't take any warnings as a joke. Don't take any plans as a joke. And also prepare for any eventuality. And remember that we are more than flesh and blood. We are spirits. Like I said, we do not end with the degeneration of flesh and blood, because it is what this flesh is housing that is more important than the flesh. Because there are angels who are not housed in flesh, holy angels. But we are in a realm of bondage. That is why we are different. That's why we have to really work hard to have a little power. So basically that is it. Take note of the difference, the different time that we live in. Do not despair over things that harm your body and cannot touch your spirit. And remember that we all came from one, and we shall return to one, the indivisible. I wouldn't really call him indivisible, because we are part of his division. We are a manifestation of his glory. The beginning, the source, the great I am, whose word is still reverberating through every new creation and every new living thing and every new lump of soil that separates. Every tree that grows, every flower that grows, every animal, man, every living thing and non-living thing that appears. That's it.